Ooh, baby, there's a place on earth. Ooh, baby, you're the place on earth. Now, that's not how it goes, but I just made it up. Let's go. Hey, you got to change the words because sometimes they'll just copyright. Copyright, copyright. Where's the money at? In the money, money world. Now, when it comes to that saying, it's one of the truest sayings. So I like that song. And just put it on your list at the end of what I was putting up. People can chuck in whatever story they want after that. If it comes to, there's no science to it, it's not real, right? It's just what it is. I put it on the list because it's my song and I'm doing this clip now because of the song, right? But everyone can propaganda or feel some sort of way. Sometimes energy allows that to get outcomes, right? That's how energy can interfere. If anyone goes, it's strange, and I just got this feeling and stuff like that. If not, you don't have to use technology to live a life. There's plenty of ways to live and do things. But a place on Earth, so that's a place where people you get along with people. So a heaven place is not a place where all the cool shit is and stuff like that. They've got all the latest technology and, oh, I want to go there because of all that. No, it's not that one thing. Unless you like all that and you're willing to take any sacrifice to get all that, then that's your place on earth. For some people, that could be true. We're all different and we all... there's a mouse outside. You see that? So I'm going to put a trap out there. I've got some traps. So that's probably where the other... There's missing like 6 or 7. So they've gotten out. They know their ways out. They find these air vents in the walls, I think. They somehow get in the walls. I didn't see any holes in the wall, but they can get in the roof by climbing a line. And they're good at that. So they're getting in the roof, getting in the walls, and getting outside. Some of these ones that escape. What a pain in the ass. And there it is again. Yep, I'm going to get you. In fact, if I get one soon and put a trap right there, it's going to come out as it's getting dark and it wants to eat. But there's one outside. But back to a place on earth is a connection. A place you fit, like your family can fit you, is the first thing you have, like a loved one, and close to being like a loved one is why we connect to loved ones, is that we can able to connect, fight, and we go through and believe certain things together or willing to do it together. And we have similar things to get us to have that connection start. So that's connection. And that's the best thing to have. And the more better connection you can have with that, the more you can call someone and get an outcome to work for you. It depends on the connection, if they're willing to help and all that kind of thing. But you get a connection for some sort of benefit that you like. Or you don't want anyone to call you and help you. You get it? So you connect with those people. As you want to be a hermit. You're not true hermit. That's what you do. Right? That's connection. And so to make a place on earth is first you got to get that. You got to get your main priority. So you got to get that, and you got to be able to have food, be able to grow food. So you wouldn't want to be out in the desert. Yeah, we're all connected, but we're about to starve and die. Right? So you want to be with a group, with a place where you can easily sustain things like fried seeds, at least basically that or better, right? Where you can go to the supermarket, super cheap prices to the income of something else you do, which is what we use money for. And a place to stay at, a cave, a shelter, a hole, whatever. Right, in a hill, you can have a hole in a hill. It can be a shelter, right? As water will always float to the water level. So if you're up on a hill of a land and you're above sea level, then the water will always float down. So hills are good things for that, right? About building structures underground. So that way, if it is a flood, it's only a quick one. It'll more likely run past you quickest than anyone else. Anyone else have that flood problem longer, right? And so a place on earth is a place where you have all that and connection, and then you start studying and you learn and you go out there and you do what humans talk about doing all the time, exploring and learning. And you can do that peacefully. The more peacefully you can do that and connection, the quicker and better we can do it. It's more funner than having a place where you're trying to do something and then someone's coming along and just talking shit in your back all the time. You can be frustrated, annoying. You're trying to learn or do something or have fun, and someone else is doing the opposite and going, no, what's the noise sound? In your face, then you can't do anything, right? And you bark them nicely. All they have to do is stop, but they want to turn up to do it, right? And so you can't stop that, right? And so you were doing action back, and you go just to be annoying back. But what's the point of that game, right? And so that's not a place you want to be. If you can leave, leave, right? And that's what I would do. And as long as you're not under any rule or any place where you've got to stay, right? Which is got to do with community work, and you've got to do it in a certain area and all that kind of thing. And so when it comes to a place on earth, and these people end up putting you in positions like that, very odd. They want you to leave. And you've recorded them and they've talked about it plenty of times about the outcome is they don't like you and you want to leave. So that wouldn't be your place on earth. So what we people do is when to find that place on earth and why there's all different bubbles is that we leave. And you travel for a while and you go to a place where you can at least get to where you can talk, be you. So you finally get to a place where you can go, oh, I'm going to try to be me now just for a bit. And if it doesn't work like last place, I can quickly go again. I'll find out about the people, right? And you talk about what you do and you're down the street and you find out if people connect. And then you can even maybe get a job there with talking about who you are. And people will say, this is roughly here. The whole place might not be like you, but you've got a little bubble here for a start, or you don't, right? It's like a God thing. You'll find out, and that's what travelers do. They might travel around a little bit. My grandma on my mum's side used to do that all the time. She moved a lot as she was trying to find a good spot for her health and connection because she had to be in a certain environment. So it depends on who you are and how much you need. That if you've got more disability, you might need more things, right? And that's just life hard when it comes to disability. Is why we have connection to help things a bit more easy in that area for things that are easy for people. Like I've talked about when it comes to jobs, there's no use having a dude with big fingers trying to do a little job finger thing and it takes forever when you can have that little dude, same age and everything, and he can do it really quick because he's got little fingers, right? And he doesn't have troubles picking it up. That's the sort of thing. It's natural. And he was also quicker at doing what he does, right? And so it's best to have a natural person do their job. And then that way he can help you out a little bit like what I talked about when I used to get someone to type out for me. Look, I'll do a job you can't do so good. And I'll just do it like that instead of you taking hours. And then you can do that typing just like that instead of me taking hours, right? And that's connection. And we try to find, and that's why it's good to have differences. You don't want to be too much the same. Otherwise you can't use that. Right? And then you just have to use just money only and things like that, which is what people are using mostly today because we don't have so connection and we use the religion money, and that's the top religion, money, then more than whatever else is after that religion and who you are and so on, right? Because that's what's real, that's what comes and gets you and all that kind of stuff. It's reality. And so we'll do that until you find your bubble, and then once you find your bubble, you can start to stretch off and be yourself. And you'll always find a place for that. Even the baddest bad guys have a place, right? Like North Korea and stuff, right? They will accept bad guys, right? And they do go there, and they go there for their pleasures, just like you see in towns with bad towns, right? But anyway, have a good one, and you let me know in comments. Have you found your bubble yet, or are you still looking for your place on earth, or even country on earth? Sometimes you have to go to a whole. You got the rules and the people in the bubbles and all that. But you got the rules that can be changed and stuff like that. And every good bubble in history, have proven too, it's just a way of life. Things do change. As every place has been a good bubble, but no longer. Right? Example: Egypt. It was a thriving, loving place, but it's not a thriving, loving place now, is it? Yeah. So every place has been a good bubble, but there's been either nature or us not able to function with nature, and it's usually with our bubbles collapsing. I'm sure that place could be revived again. The same stories it was used back then. It's just because something come along and ruined the bubble, usually the outcome of these areas. As they would say in a lot of religions, or Jesus said, it was one of our sins. But have a good one and see you later.